Here at NMG, we are working very hard to ensure your favorite publications, Daily Nation, Business Daily, Taifa Leo and the East African are readily available. In a bid to support the efforts to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, NMG has ensured our staff, our distributors and their staff adhere to set guidelines. At our printing plant, all staff are required to wash their hands before entering the factory and must be wearing a mask. All workers either change their clothes on entering the factory or wear an overcoat. We are keeping doors open to avoid our staff touching door handles repeatedly. With our automated printing, contact with the newspaper is kept to a minimum, and at the packing process, the staff observes social distancing. Vehicles used to transport the newspapers are disinfected daily before the newspapers are loaded, and our delivery staff all wear masks and wash their hands regularly. Our vendors ensure that they sanitize every time they handle money and wear their masks at all times. NMG is proud to be able to safely meet your information needs. Stay safe, stay informed with our favorite NMG publications.
Popcorn, check. Juice, check. Remote, check. For over 30 years, MultiChoice has been providing us with our favorite TV shows, movies and sports. But now a much more younger, more nimble company, Netflix, is playing in its very own backyard. So I'm here to find out what they can do to fight back.
Growing up, I've always been creative. I think I want to do something in design.
We are in Dakar to find out how sports can be a bigger revenue generator and how entrepreneurs can benefit from it.
Let the music hit you, move you, or just make you end your day perfectly. Catch hit after hit of music that gets you grooving on weekday nights. Only on NTV.
Those that are born with club foot, which is a congenital deformity, face immense stigma due to misinformation for a condition that can actually be corrected. Now, children born with this condition are ostracized, labeled bad omens or products of witchcraft.
Growing up with clubfoot has been very tough. I never used to remove my shoes at all.
We shed light on this condition and of course bust some of those myths and also understand how you can correct this condition.
COVID-19 is preventable. Protect yourself, your family and the community. This message has been brought to you by the Government of Kenya and its partners.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
This is NTV.
very good afternoon to you. This is NTV at 1 with me, Smriti Vidyarthi, and Eid Mubarak to all those celebrating. To our top story, and 4 Kenya Bureau of Standards employees have been arrested by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in relation to theft of more than 12 million shillings from the agency's Kisumu branch between July 2017 and October 2018, even as the search for 3 others continues. Now, the 4 include former KEBS Regional Manager, Kisumu Lake Region, Jacqueline Njeri Kangiri, Catherine Nangila Wanyonyi, the Head of Market Surveillance, Kisumu Lake Region, as well as former accountants Lynette Bitengo Nyanchama and Daniel Ambrose Onuko Osumba. Well, efforts to trace Eric Kibet Sawe, then an assistant accountant, Rose Wangoi Gasheru, the principal accountant and head of reconciliation department at KEBS headquarters in Nairobi, as well as Florence Awino Oma, the principal quality assurance officer, Kisumu Lake Region, are underway. Now, according to the investigating officer, that's Musa Mandevu, the suspects will appear in court on Tuesday, facing charges of abuse of office, conspiracy to defraud, false accounting by public officers, stealing by servant, neglect and official duty, and conspiracy to defeat justice. We'll bring you more details on that story as and when it develops. Now, in his address to the nation yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta alluded to the possibility of reopening the country for business and somewhat normal life. The president, however, cautioned Kenyans against reckless behavior that may lead to a resurgence of infections of the coronavirus. Well, should that happen, it will also come as a relief for up to 5 counties that have been under containment, which has resulted in an economic slowdown. We have reporters in various parts of the country to get your point of view on this. First, let's go to Mombasa. Kevin Mutai is there. We'll try connect with Bernard Ojwang later and also Victor Kiprop. But Kevin, now, first of all, tell us, what are the Eid celebrations today to really have been adversely affected?
Well, good afternoon, Smriti, and we're glad to join the broadcast from Kenyatta Public Beach, one of the public spaces that is usually packed with holiday makers. And for instance, last year, a day like this, this place could probably be filled with people from different walks of life, among them even the Muslim community at the time that they're celebrating Eid. But this year's Eid celebration is unusual because of the under the shadow of the coronavirus pandemic, as millions of Muslim faithfuls stay in their houses. Of course, others being gripped by the economic concerns during what is also usually a festive time of shopping and celebration. And of course, we are seeing a lot more of them even complaining that they're unable even to meet their families, because a time like this, they'd pray together, come together, and of course also enjoy lavish meals together. But that is not happening thanks to the pandemic, as most of them gets confined into their homes as the government, of course, institutes some of the measures to contain the spread of the virus. Mombasa is one of the counties that is currently under containment, and of course a partial lockdown in Old Town. So we are seeing most of the people staying indoors, unlike the other times that we are seeing Muslims coming together, praying together, even in mosques, but that is not happening again anymore, Smriti, because of the pandemic. But of course, also as the president hinted yesterday of a possible reopening the country, we're expecting definitely this as good news for the business community, who are expecting to bounce back, because most of the businesses have been grounded because of the pandemic. But of course, also we'll also be probably expecting even to see the reopening of schools. Yesterday, even the government saying that it has put aside some funds to even improve the infrastructure in the education sector, and of course also touching on various areas that perhaps need a boost to ensure that the country bounce back to its normalcy. But of course, Smriti, there's a lot more happening. We'll definitely be taking charge to cover what you'll need to know from the coast region. region. And for my Muslim brothers and sisters, Eid Mubarak from Mombasa.
Kevin, thanks very much indeed. NTV's Kevin Mutai there, coming to us live from the county of Mombasa on Kenyatta Beach, which, as you can see, is absolutely empty. A very unusual sight, particularly on a day like this when our Muslim brothers and sisters are celebrating Eid. All right, now to our business reporter, Victor Kiprop, here in Nairobi. Now, Victor, surely reopening the country would, of course, be good for the economy reopening the county would be good for the economy of the country, if not just the capital. But how do you do that and at the same time curb the spread of the coronavirus?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, Smriti, that every government official in the country and even in other countries across the world are pondering about. Because after 2 months since we first reported our first case of coronavirus in the country, the economy has taken a severe beating from the effects. So far, tens or thousands upon thousands of businesses have closed shop, and many more people have lost their jobs. And going forward, many people are certainly going to struggle to put food on the table. And as people wonder how long will these measures continue to be in place. On its side, the government has already indicated on how unsustainable these containment measures may be going forward. Just yesterday, the president gave indications that maybe the country could be reopening very soon, and we might see some of these measures that we had put in place being lifted to allow the country, of course, resume to normalcy. But again, there is that deep-seated fear that we might be doing this pretty much too soon, and that maybe if we waited a bit longer, maybe, just maybe, then we could be able to defeat the virus without necessarily, of course, harming ourselves when or it could be at least we would be able to safely reopen the economy. And at the Moi Avenue and Kenyatta Avenue intersection right here at the Central Business District, as you can see, business is literally at a standstill. A few people here and there trying to rush. Of course, not as much compared to the previous time. And we've just caught up with a few border operators who are going to tell us how things are and what they think the government should do regarding that million-dollar question we were referring to. Asante sana ndugu yangu, unazungumza na NTV Live. Naomba utuambie miezi mbili tangu tuweze kupata ile kesi yetu ya kwanza ya corona kwa nchi, hali ya biashara imekuaje na unaonelea jinsi mambo ikiendelea itakuaje kwa biashara yenu ya bodaboda?
Kwanza, majina yangu naitwa Benson Bigedi, National Treasurer Bodaboda Association of Kenya. Kwangu kibinafsi ama katika sekta yetu ya biashara imeweza kurudi chini, na serikali kitu ambacho ingefanya waweze kufungua, at least wananchi waweze kurudi kazini, kwa sababu ni majukumu ya serikali kulinda wananchi wake na sio kulinda wale wanasiasa wachache. Sasa unapata ya kwamba biashara nyingi zimerudi chini. Hakuna katika sekta ya transport bodaboda hakuna biashara, katika matatu hakuna biashara nyingi zimefungwa. Na unapoona kama pale Isili uliona waliweza kufunga pale, na wateja wetu wengi wanatoka sehemu za Isili. Saizi biashara imekwama, hakuna mwananchi ambaye anasikia uzuri wa kuwa katika nchi hii ama kuweza kusurvive kibiashara, kwa sababu biashara nyingi imekuwa grounded na hili janga la corona. Kwa hivyo sisi tungependa ya kwamba serikali iweze kufungua mipaka yake, iweze kufungua biashara ziweze kufanyika, usafiri uweze kuendelea, ili kila mwananchi aweze kujua kwamba tuko na hili gonjwa la corona, lakini kila mmoja aweze kuchunga hali yake ya kimaisha na kuweka ile social distance na kujipreserve, ili kwamba aweze kusurvive na ugonjwa huu, kwa sababu tuko na magonjwa kama ya ukimwi, tuko na magonjwa kama ya TB, lakini wananchi wamejua hayo magonjwa yako, sembuse corona. Kwa hivyo tunataka serikali waweze kufungua na wakonside kuwekea wananchi mikakati ambayo itawalinda.
Naam, shukran sana ndugu yangu. That has been one of the border operators here, of course, giving us his own views, telling us that the government should reopen the economy, but at the same time put in place measures to ensure that we can safely reopen the economy. Smriti, on the 6th of next month, all the measures that containment measures that the government has put in place, that is the cessation of movement in counties and also in some areas of Nairobi, plus the curfew will all come to an end, and that is why all eyes are now on the government led by President Uhuru Kenyatta to see on whether they will reopen the economy or will they extend the containment measures, Smriti.
All right, Victor, thank you very much indeed for that update and that insight. NTV's Victor Kiprop coming to us from the streets of Nairobi here in the capital. Let's take you to Siaya now, and the governor there, Cornel Rasanga, has banned the ferrying of bodies of COVID-19 victims from other counties into Siaya for burial. Speaking after the launch of sanitization booths and a fumigation exercise in Siaya town, Governor Rasanga advised that those who died outside the county be buried where they passed on instead of their bodies being transported to Siaya for burial. He says that this will help reduce the spread of the coronavirus, which is currently stretched to the healthcare system in Siaya. The county has reported an additional 7 COVID-19 cases in the past week alone, most of which are suspected to have been imported from Nairobi. The governor has also urged the residents to avoid attending burials of non-relatives.
We are only having problems with deaths that have occurred outside Siaya. And so we want the people who are accompanying the body, number one, make sure that you have a certificate, that you have been tested and you have been found to be clean, then accompany the body. We are also saying that if the death is as a result of COVID-19, bury that body out there, because there is no need for you to bring the body and bring misery and further deaths to other people.
All right, let's turn to Migori County now, where Bernard Ojwang joins us live. And Bernard, Migori has seen a rise in COVID-19 cases as well, especially imported from neighboring Tanzania. The border has since been closed. What would reopening the country mean for the people of Migori?
Well, thank you very much, Smriti. Yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta did address the nation, and of course, some of the issues President Uhuru Kenyatta talked about is the issue of curfew and lockdown. And of course, he said that this has really affected the economy of the country, and he also urged Kenyans at least to ensure that the government, since the government will not be able to continue with the curfew and lockdown, he urged the locals and also Kenyans had to ensure that they take responsibility as one of the ways of helping the government in the fight against the spread of COVID-19. And of course, as you know very well, Migori County, where we are, is neighboring Tanzania, where we are made to understand that there is a high number of people who have been tested positive, and also the first 2 cases that were reported here in Migori County came from Tanzania. And of course, the address by President yesterday was really received by many people, especially many people here. And without wasting time, I'll just be speaking to one of the business person here. Just tell me, yesterday President Uhuru Kenyatta talked about the curfew and lockdown. And what do you think you people coming along the borders here?
Thank you so much. My name is Jim Odindo. I would like to say that, this is the link between the southern Sudan part of the other countries of Tanzania and Kenya. It's a very important highway. And as you know very well, this one contributes so much to the economy of those countries. It's really a hitch and it's really a problem when we have this lockdown. The economy is really hurt and we're really feeling it. But now they also have to take care at the borders. They have to take care of the people coming in and going out. They have to be more vigilant. They have to work on their screening. They have to find more facilities and more doctors, or let me say medics, who can handle it. Because, they take the distance from Migori to the nearest facility where they test the COVID samples is very far. How I wish the government can take care of that so that, we can have some easy way of testing and knowing what is wrong with us. Otherwise, I feel that it's a good thing because we really need to go back to our normal working days.
Okay, thank you very much. As you just heard from one of the business community here, is saying that where the move in case the government is willing to open the borders also and also do away with the curfew and lockdown, they need that since it will enable them at least to resume their duties, and they are saying that it has really, the curfew and lockdown has really affected their business and also the economy of the country. And also about the border, they are saying that in case the government wants to open the borders, and they should ensure that surveillance is being intensified, and also ensure that people coming into the country are being tested, to ensure that no one come in the country without being tested, and also the status being known. Back to you.
Bernard Ojwang, thanks very much for that, coming to us live from Migori. Now, the Kalenjin Council of Elders is demanding answers from President Uhuru Kenyatta on what is happening between him and his deputy William Ruto. According to the elders, Ruto has remained faithful to his calling, but the ongoing onslaught against him and his allies leaves lots of questions. NTV senior political reporter with those details.
As the relationship between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto moves from bad to worse, questions are now popping up on what could have really led to this.
Tukiona president akitembea na deputy wake, ni nini imetokea lakini?
The Kalenjin Council of Elders now wants answers as to why President Uhuru Kenyatta allegedly sidelined his first love at the expense of a new political lover.
Ruto anasukumwa mpaka ukuta baada ya siku, na hakuna hata siku moja tumepata kuambiwa kwamba huyu amefanya makosa fulani. Na sisi pia hatujasikia Ruto mwenyewe akilombana na mkubwa.
Speaking on behalf of the council at his Kapenguria office, the chairman James Luko said it was not fair for their son to be the subject of a messy divorce. Yet the community had stood with the duo twice in 2013 and 2017.
Tulipokuwa tukipika kura katika Rift Valley yote, nizili tulimnyoroshea kura kweli. Hata huko kweli Kapenguria huko remote kabisa huko, watu walimpigia yeye kura, alipata 90%. Sasa na huko Nandi walipata namna hiyo, na huko Sigis walipata namna hiyo, na huko Keyo walipata namna hiyo. Hakuna pali yeye alienda chini. Sasa shetani gani hii imetokea? Imepasua sisi katikati.
The last 2 weeks have seen a spirited campaign by President Uhuru Kenyatta to get a hold of Parliament as he oversaw a purge that targeted Deputy President William Ruto's allies at the Senate, where they were removed from influential positions.
They are just going to have to continue having the problem.
This is with the likelihood of the same fate descending upon those in the National Assembly after the Madaraka Day celebrations.
Ikiwa ni BBI tu ndio mnataka adi Ruto asukumwe na watu wake, hii ni kinyume kabisa, kwa sababu hiyo ni si democracy.
The elders are now of the opinion that President Kenyatta should make a trip to the Rift Valley to explain the genesis of their bad blood and break the political marriage in their presence.
Ruto ni mnyenyekevu, kwa sababu hakuna wakati hata siku moja ambaye kwamba ameenda huko na kusema juu ya mkubwa wake president ambaye ni wetu.
Kennedy Muredhi, NTV.
Are you watching NTV at one time for a short break, but plenty more when we return? Don't go far.
Remember to include the person's disability if and when reporting cases of COVID-19 involving a person with disability. National Council for Persons with Disabilities. Disability rights are human rights.
Pembe Flour, your most trusted quality brand for over 3 decades, has a new look now. This new pack is available in all leading supermarkets and outlets. It's still the same flour. Great taste, so you can cook and bake all you love with Pembe Flour. Pembe yangu ni poa.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
Welcome back. Now, for business owners in Thika town, surviving the COVID pandemic has meant cutting their losses, forcing them to either close down or scale back. Hoteliers, public service vehicle operators and salon and barber owners are just some of the businesses that have had to ground to a halt. But for a select few, they are remaining open in the hope that the coronavirus will pass and they'll be able to earn the living which keeps them afloat.
The God is with us slogan on the back of this public service vehicle seems to speak of the hope that operators in the matatu sector have that their businesses will resume soon. However, this hope is feeble as operators say they have had difficulty trying to keep up with their bills since the pandemic drove away their high returns.
An example, the vehicle we are in now is supposed to give an owner 6,000 per day. But now it cannot even give him 1,500. This vehicle is on loan, either from the SACCO or from a bank.
The vehicles now lie at petrol stations and parking lots as they were dumped by owners who say they cannot earn a living following the restrictions placed on businesses. Only 40% of the SACCO vehicles are currently operating, while 80% of public service vehicle owners who have purchased matatus through the SACCO have also failed to service their loans. Those in the hospitality industry are also being served with low returns as hundreds of hotel staff continue to remain on forced unpaid leave.
Cascade is an employer to over 300 staff. And as you can see, right now we are operating with around 50 staff. So about 250 staff has been sent home on temporary unpaid leave. And we really empathize and sympathize with them. We would really want to have them back. We are really hoping that the situation will be good, and that the cessation of movement will be opened. The coronavirus pandemic will come to an end so that we can have our staff back. Some of them have been making phone calls frantically to come back. We really empathize and sympathize with them.
The hotel has also reported reduced sales volume owing to the fact that they are now not able to accommodate as many customers as they could previously. Beauticians in the town join the list of business owners who have suffered losses. Their tools of trade have been downed as they wait for the pandemic to pass.
Customers wamepungua juu wanakuwa encouraged wafanye kazi wakuwa nyumbani. So tumekuwa affected sana juu kazi zetu haziwezi fanyia nyumbani. Tuko na bills za kulipa, tuko na rent, unapata uko na rent ya kwako na uko na rent ya kazi. So imekuwa changamoto kwetu kumanage kulipa bills, pata una bill ya stima, unafaa kulipa license ya kajo, na ukiangalia kwa sisi uplay role kubwa sana kwa economy.
They say the government has failed to intervene and provide policies to cushion them from the effects of the virus and are now calling on authorities to put in place measures that will protect them from the harsh economic effects of COVID-19. Gina Kirori, NTV.
Elsewhere now, residents of Tana Delta sub-county in Tana River County have been hit hard by heavy rainfall and flooding following the swelling of River Tana. Thousands more people have been displaced and now they're asking the government to construct and repair damaged dikes in the area.
15 villages have been submerged in the Tana Delta sub-county due to perennial floods in the region, and over 11,000 residents have been displaced. According to the residents, this year's floods has been the worst ever experienced in the last 20 years.
Nafikiri saa hii ni mara ya tatu ama nne tumepata floods. Lakini solution ni kujengwa dikes kubwa kubwa. Ile flood control kama Budalangi ikuwe very strong hizo dike. Na pia tujengewe dams kubwa kubwa huko sehemu za juu. Kuna tributaries nyingi zinaingia huku ili watu wetu wa juu pia pale wapate maji.
As the water levels continue to rise, displaced residents living on roadside camps along the Garsen-Lamu highway are living in fear of attacks from crocodiles, snakes and hippos.
Tumeambiwa tuondoke area hii tuende sehemu za mainuko. Yes, sawa. Lakini tukie huko tunakotaka kwenda kuna mvua inanyesha, kama usiku unaona rain inanyesha. Wakati inaponyesha unachukua watoto unaenda nao, akina mama unaenda nayo huko msituni. Itakuwaje? Hiyo ni hatari moja. Serikali kuna wagatuzi watusaidie kwa njia moja au nyingine ili tufike pale.
The displaced residents have been forced to survive on mudfish for lack of an alternative food as their crops were destroyed. World Vision has, however, distributed non-food items to those displaced from Bandi village as they continue to mobilize resources. They aim to reach 5,000 households in Tana Delta.
We also have 3 sleeping mats in each of the kits. We also have a solar lamp because we understand that most of them were not able to salvage anything at all, including the lighting system that you used to use back at home. So we also have those solar lamps so that they can be able to assist them. Yeah, so besides this, we're also planning to mobilize for more resources to be able to respond.
The villages are only accessible by boat, and the residents are asking for additional relief food to cushion them against the ravaging floods. Ruth Sarmoi, NTV.
A section of Mwingi West residents who have benefited from the construction of 2 earth dams within the constituency say that they've eased congestion at previous water points in line with the government's directive to avoid overcrowding. The residents earlier on travelled for 4 kilometres to be able to get water, and the water was not only far off, but it was also not enough for all of them, and therefore they had to wake up early to be lucky enough, and they ended up crowding water points. 600 households have benefited from the 2 dams. Farmers living around the dams can now irrigate their crops with ease, and business people can also provide water for their customers to wash their hands to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus. Parents have, however, been warned to keep their children away from the dams, as that could lead to situations such as drowning.
Tunatumia hii maji kuonga mikono na vile vile ile safe distancing iko. Kwa hivyo hapa hakuna overcrowding.
Tunashukuru kwa kupata maji karibu. Wakati huu tuna ugonjwa wa corona, tunashukuru kwa sababu watoto wetu hawatembei mbali. Pale kitambo tulikuwa tunaenda karibu huko Miwani, lakini siku hizi maji iko karibu.
Right, let's turn our attention to the sports news now. And 3 matches are on the cards this afternoon in the German Bundesliga as Schalke host Augsburg, Mainz play Leipzig and Cologne face Düsseldorf. In Saturday's late kick-off, leaders Bayern Munich took a 4-point lead into Tuesday's top-of-the-table clash with Borussia.
is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
With DSTV Now, you open up a world of possibility where your entertainment is ready for you anytime and anywhere. To get connected, ask your parents to go to the App Store, hit download and log in.
Incredible! Incredible!
And while they're there, with DSTV's parental control feature, setting you up for the most fun and safest viewing around is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Amazing entertainment and learning, anywhere with DSTV.
Basic protective measures as guided by the World Health Organization. Clean hands frequently with soap and clean water. Cover nose and mouth when coughing and sneezing with a tissue or flexed elbow. Avoid close contact 1 meter or 3 feet with anyone with cold or flu-like symptoms. If you have fever, cough and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Avoid raw or uncooked animal products. Help the world put an end to the spread of respiratory diseases by sharing this message with a friend. Message brought to you by Sour Herbal Family Bath Soap.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
And it's finally Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Oh my gosh, that sounded really bad. Hi, how are you? My name is Amina Abdurabah. It's Friday. Then you know it's time for the trend at 8 p.m. It's all about TTTT. There's so many stories that trended all week long that you talked about on WhatsApp, and you also had a conversation about it on social media. So these are some of the stories that trended this week. A mayor in Peru pretended to have died from coronavirus and hid in a coffin to avoid arrest after breaking lockdown to drink with friends. Find out more in a bit. Plus, thieves who robbed Cairo stores wearing footballer Mohamed Salah's face masks have been arrested.
Suppose we did something like this.
Right next door, President Museveni, known for his humorous off-the-cuff speeches, demonstrated how 1 kg of maize flour is enough to last a household for a number of days. Ungana nasi kwenye upande wa pili wa studio. Now, a driver of a matatu belonging to Latema Sacco escaped death narrowly after he was ambushed and attacked while on duty. All right, so now tonight we've got Anita Nderu and we have Coach. Those are our panelists. Hey guys, how are you?
The gentleman from the lake, the gentleman from the lake.
Why'd you? Okay.
Jina yetu imeharibika sana, but we are here. We are here.
Wow. Kwa sababu wewe na Ndenga Boys Club yenyu. Ni different. Anyway, so I don't know if we should talk about the Boys Club now or later, by the way, because I feel like, Coach, your brothers from the lakeside are under attack.
I think we should not talk about it at all.
Oh my gosh, why? They said you're not, they were like, oh, we thought they were romantic. They're not.
No. We can't talk about it because now niliambiwa sijui cholera imeua watu wangapi, maji inabeba watu wangapi.
Okay.
In short, there are more important things to talk about.
Forgive us. I am very sorry. But hi, Anita, how are you doing, dear?
Hello, my darling. How are you doing?
Good. So I want to start this week. Let me tell you, so many things happened. This story, though, it took the cake for me. So now there's a mayor in Peru, literally cheated death, but it didn't go as expected. Now he pretended to have died, because that's what happens sometimes. You just have to play dead. I don't know if you guys have ever been busted by your parents. My dad has made me want to play dead very many times. So now, so this guy pretended to have died.
It was the full key for Amina. It really was, because sometimes it really is that serious.
It really is that serious. It is. You've been busted with a guy. You have no time to explain. There are no reasons that make sense. You just have to pretend that you are dead. You play dead. You're like, see me, I'm in Nyonga. Oh my gosh. It's too much.
I think
my gosh.
The mayor had been seeing updates of corona every now and then. It was like this corona.
No, what happened on the trend the other weekend? There was a chief who was caught drunk.
I wasn't sure whether it's life or death.
This is
This is my thing. How was there a coffin readily available?
That's
like,
what I was wondering.
Party was this?
He had planned. You know, sometimes
I get people are like, generally kufa na pombe. But then how is there a coffin readily available
in the house?
But I mean, Anita. Yeah. If you are going to go the whole way, like for example, that's like asking, how was the ambulance available and those people were having the nini inside the ambulance?
No, I saw that story and I was like, I'm so confused. I don't understand. I don't see where this started, how this went, how this is going. But
if you're a mayor,
I was just like, there was a coffin readily available
in the house. Because you know sometimes
I have attended parties in my 10 years
of
partying, but I have never seen a coffin at any party that I have been at.
But
how is there a coffin at your party?
But you
I am concerned, like, it's like if I came to your party and I saw a coffin, I'd be like, hey, anyway, here.
But if there are people who are always on standby, especially these COVID times, the people who make coffins, because you are just on standby. Umesikia COVID imefika Kibira. Pimisha.
Stop. This isn't a funny story. This is how we all go to hell, and I'm like, God, me nilikuwa tunacheka. Hata ikuwa funny. I don't even know why I was laughing. I don't even know why I find it so funny.
But you know what I mean, though.
No, it's true. Anita's right. How do you go to a party and then you find a coffin? Like if you walk in, right, Kwach, and like right by the door, there's a coffin, and they're like, don't worry. It has its use. It shall come. When we say, ni wakati, jump in. Everyone jump in their coffin. I mean, I don't know. It's just like a...
And you know also the other people who are in the party, they hid in the drawers.
And then
so they were like, sisi tumeingia kwa fridge ya Moog sasa.
I'm just like, I know what this party is about. It's COVID and I'm not ready.
But I feel like if you enter a party and there's a coffin, you're like, this is going to be a lit... You're like this.
It's going to be this party is gonna kill me. This party is gonna kill it. So I killed the party.
Yeah. That escape route for the mayor was called Coffin-19.
I see what you did there.
Anyway, so listen, he decided to hide in the coffin. Because, you're just like, will I really survive? And in that country, you're like, are they going to jail? Are they going to quarantine? You don't know. You're like, can they really survive in jail? The mayor is like, I have a pretty face. I don't know. I'm going to be someone's girlfriend. Let me just jump in this coffin real quick and just pretend. Because but you have to be very committed to have planned your evening that much. You're like, so if the cops come, we're going to jump in the coffin. Everyone just, this and that.
I think this is the literal description of going to the party knowing that if you die, you die.
You die. Kama utakufa dereva, kufa makanga. Anyway, speaking of makanga na dereva, so this next story, a driver... Yeah, if you die, you die. A driver of a matatu belonging to Latema Sacco on Friday morning, that was today, escaped death narrowly after he was ambushed and attacked while on duty by unknown assailants. Now, in what witnesses at Gashie bus terminus, Kiambu County, say was brewed by continuous differences between Latema Sacco and its competitor identified as Ganaki Sacco. The assailants attacked the bus by pelting it with stones. Take a look. Now, I know you, I don't know if you've ever had anyone who's in this business or the experience they've ever had before. It gets really ugly. You have to have like the approval of the cartels in the area before, you know, you park your bus, you can even decide to be taking over that route, and then there are the cops to look after. There, I hear, allegedly, reportedly, there's some other councilmen you have to look after. So before, in fact, that car even gets on the road, it's a whole political affair. And then, you know, for you to get, it's like a whole, it's like you just keep on getting these approvals stage by stage by stage.
I'm still pissed off that I used to pay 1,000 bob from Mirema to USIU, but anyway, no. And no, and to the point where the same matatu that used to pick me used to conveniently be there just when I need to go to USIU. And I didn't know this for a very long time until the day I handed 1,000 bob over to the conductor. And there's a lady who gave 20 shillings. And she was like, then my change didn't come back. And then, because I didn't know how much matatus cost at the time. And then this lady was like, wapi change yake? And I was like, oh, I'm meant to get change. You know, I didn't know that. Anyway, that's why.
Wait, what do you mean? Anita, you were making too much money at the time. Let me just tell you, there's no time a job has ever been anything.
Anita, pull up.
Rewind and come back again, selector.
You're trying to say
you want to tell us.
You are paying 30,000 shillings every single month.
No, to be fair, until my father's feast days, I never changed the story because he didn't know how much jobs cost. So I said to him, they still cost 1,000 bob. To this day, I think he thinks it cost 1,000 bob. But anyway,
you made a very big mistake asking that lady to tell you what the fare is, because.
Like no, I didn't ask her. She was sitting next to me at the back.
You know,
and then she handed her money and she was like, wapi change yake?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm meant to get change. I didn't even know at the time. Anyway, this was in Eastlands, 12 years ago?
Just before you get through that story, in Eastlands, when you get into a mart, every single passenger has their own price.
I know number 9s.
That's
I
true.
used to live in Kariokor, so I used to ride the number 9s. But then, by then I knew the cost of, you know, the matatus. Wow, but between Mirema and Thika, I didn't know the cost in the beginning. This was in 2008. Anyway, so
hey, Anita.
I feel really bad for said driver, because obviously it reminded me of how when Uber came into the country, the way normal taxi drivers, I call them the yellow cabs would fight with the Uber drivers. So I completely sympathize with him. But yeah, I think it's very wrong.
I feel like this whole story, we've just ended up sympathizing with you, my babe. Hatujui. So in fact, we want to just take a break, just to be like, to just a group hug for you, because I don't understand how anyone ever. And sijui tukufanya nini. I'm just like, you used to pay a G.
Do you know that G was paying for the whole matatu?
Quite, you were paying for the whole matatu. In fact, that guy at 1 o'clock, they're done with Jobo at midday. They're like, Anita has paid.
Very bitter about it.
Quach is right. Different people used to have different costs, because me, I didn't pay for a while. They used to be like, ama de watano, alafu mwingine utamfanya bure, mimi ndo nilikuwa bure. It's okay. I was, you know, I looked different. It's life. His story sijui kwa nini Quach alikuwa amefurahia sana. In fact, as he came to the office today, he was like, what do you guys want? I want to buy dinner. And then we were like, oh, there are no restaurants open. He was like, okay. This story for, what
There's only 2 things that have made me very happy today.
What and what?
That story. And people are saying, oh, Anita, oh.
What are they saying?
I'm actually wearing clothes, you guys. Like, I actually have clothes on. It's just the angle of the camera.
It's okay. Let's just tell them, Anita. So what happened was, Anita and Dotto wametoka kuoga. And we were like, we don't have time. Get on the live right now. We need to start the show. She was like, acha nitupate towel. And then that was it. But welcome back.
It's just that the angle of the camera was not representing the same story.
That's her
just
version.
all calm down.
Everyone has a version.
Anita,
I'm already given flack for wearing pajamas in my own house. So now I'm being given flack for not wearing anything in my own house. I'm like, I want to meet the Kilibani woman's woman.
We prefer the latter.
About women dressing how they should in their own homes.
We are lucky someone didn't ask you kama uko na maziwa.
Wow. I see that Quach is milking this story for all it's worth.
Wow.
Let's just Let's move it right along. Enough milking. All right, now, is this, I don't know. Okay, so Kwachi will tell me, come any good news? I'm going to say good news. So for the guys, they feel like this is good news. For the women, though, who wanted to get married, planning to get married this year, not, so good news. Now, this week, the State Law Office has suspended marriage services over coronavirus fears, dealing a blow to couples seeking to formalize their marriages. So now, Anita and Butita, I mean, Anita, just only Anita.
Wow, I see what you did there.
I'm giving your parents hope that before 2022, kama Ruto anapata kitu, wewe unapata bwana. What do you mean? Can I get a name?
Amen. But no,
na bwana ni Butita, can
I want to get married when I'm 35. And up until recently, I finally met the love of my life, and I think I want to get married sooner. But I always wanted to get married. I wanted a certificate from the AG's office and I do a destination wedding so that all my mom's chama members and church members don't show up at my wedding because I don't know who they are. And I want to look at the crowd and know who's actually at my wedding. But I sympathize because I do know one of my friends who was meant to get married recently, and it has been postponed until after the COVID period. For that reason, I actually need to check on her and find out what happened. But I think they already got the certificate because they already did the traditional wedding and everything in between. Yeah. But I mean, if you were planning to seal the deal, I sympathize with you.
I think maybe to me there are just two things. One is that
you're happy.
Finally, we know that the person making the decisions at the AG is a man. Because there is no way this decision was made with women present. There is no way.
There's no way. We're like, hapana, harusi itaendelea. Harusi tunayo, hatuna tunayo. Okay?
And another thing, for the men, if there is a good time to propose.
Harusi hatuna.
Hatuko nayo. Utawezana, nitawezana corona.
If there is a good time to propose, the time is now. Because you propose and then say, babes, umeona vile wamesema.
No, unajua mimi nataka kukuoa, babe.
Mimi nataka kukuoa. Hata next week
weekend, Sunday, before Eid.
Right now because he knew there's no chance of us ever getting married.
Actually, yeah.
It's like, look.
and then after this whole corona period, you're like, you know what, babe, I've thought about it. It's just not working. It's not you. It's me and the AG. It's just it's not working.
And also,
yeah,
it's because wali realize watu wengine mnaeneza tabia mbaya.
Kama gani?
People are hiding things. People are rushing into marriage. Mnataka kuoana haraka ndio mfiche vitu.
Kama gani?
AG wamewaanika.
Wanaficha vitu gani? Tuambie
kwa. People wanafanya dhambi chini ya maji.
Are you complaining about your neighbor? You know when you want to complain about your neighbor,
just say now.
Police.
By the way, Mr. Munyoki, door number 17B.
Amefanya nini
door number 17B? Kuna watu wanaishi chini yako bwana. Wacha mchezo.
Listen, what Kwachi is trying to say is that he is jealous of your life.
That downstairs,
17B.
There to be a lot of noise that's not necessary. But then anyway, is it my place? Is it your place? No, it's not.
But think about it.
Kwachi, let it go. Don't be jealous of 17B. Anita, if 17B, no, listen, guys. If 17B is getting, actually, it's life, okay? You just sit there, have no guests, no one is coming. No one is even complaining about you. You're observing all the social distancing rules. Good for you, good for you. Moving on, now the Money Heist team should start to demand 10% of every loot that will be stolen from a bank using a mask. Now the series has given a lot of thieves ideas. I think as they watch it, they're just like, manze kwa tunaweza fanya hii. Ama unaonaje Anita? Thieves robbed Cairo stores wearing Mohamed Salah's face masks, who have since been arrested. Waone ndo wao. It's just like a movie. I can't believe people do this and then they leave the house. They're like, sasa utavai mask na mimi nitavai. Tukimbie.
You know, when I saw this story, I was like, Mo Salah, ale. How to?
Hey, what today? Hey.
Yeah, but anyway, you know, this is
Really, my friends.
This is the thin line we always cut when we expose too much stuff, especially in movies. Sometimes even in our real life.
My camera went south.
like Quatches. Anyway, it's fine.
Even in our.
Oh, okay.
That's why they say that even in the news, when you are describing a heist, don't go too much into details because you might just be giving people ideas. Someone might just be sitting there and they're like, oh, okay. Kwa hivyo unaweza rent how next to the supermarket, utoboe ukuta uingie uchukue TV. I see what you did there.
Ati uishi karibu na supermarket.
And you know, in places like Kayole or Githurai, there is no house that is independent. Kila house zimeshikana. Songa nipate nafasi, songa nipate nafasi. So someone will just go there and there is a mini supermarket, wholesale iko hapo kando, atoboe ukuta. So we should take care. Hata Inspector Mwala mkionyesha hizo vitu.
Ile nani ilikuwa Cobra Squad. Lakini kuna ideas utoto wa Cobra Squad kweli. Ideas gani? Za kushikwa peke yake. Anyway, now over to Jamaica. Wagwan Midea, Vibes Cartel Son, Lekki Adi. I don't know why I decided. I don't know what that part was.
But speaking of Vibes Cartel. See, I know we have a story on this one.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, I agree with everything Kwach has said. I second it 10,000%. Now we move.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you are also just agreeing we have a Vibes Cartel story.
10,000%. Yeah, you have nothing to say. Do you know when somebody has made you check back, you have nothing to say. You're just like, whatever you've said, I second it, I third it, I fourth it. Hallelujah, amen. Thank you very much.
I'm just reading some of the comments that we're getting. Edwin Mogambi says, tell Anita to adjust her camera, otherwise she looks nude with her dress, and remember that the boys club is watching. Anonymous says, hey Anita, I used to pay a K instead of 20 bob every day from Mirema to SIU kwa mat. Apo umetupima. In fact, Kwach says, but they used to stand outside the job. They used to say, Mbao Mbao USIU. I don't know. What did you think Mbao Mbao meant from Eldoret? What did you think Mbao meant? Okay, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't know why Kwach laughed so much.
When I was 17 years old, surely.
What?
Okay, so Mbao. Anyway, you know what? I feel like we shouldn't further explore that. Jaden says, Anita Fair was my whole meal. Anita's Fair was my whole meal in Egerton for a month. Miss Kahiga says, I'm glad kuna mtu anaelewa hiyo matatu culture inakuanga stress.
I'm not proud of it. To this day, I'm pissed off. If I ever see that conductor ever
You'll
again.
beat him. It's personal.
I'm so pissed off.
Victor Owili.
For a very long time.
Victor Willie says, kwani Anita ametumia candle because inashinda kizimazima. Kwani Anita amewafanya nini leo? James says, ati Anita leo umeficha Mwakenya kwa roof, you are looking upwards, I don't know. Newell says, Anita manze toka kwa shower. Doctrine, 1,000 from Mirema. Clearly Anita, it is the Anita show.
There's
Professional, Anita umeva gown.
Okay.
Aaron, I'm following the show. Okay.
Can you please move on from the comments?
All right, so other than
my Twitter just saying notification, I'm just like, I will ignore them because people on Twitter are not kind. I don't know who hurt you, but people on Twitter are not kind.
Anyway, now listen, Vibes Cartel's son, Lekki Adi, was congratulated by his dad in a photo shared by Vibes on his Instagram page. And they're expecting a baby boy, which was evident from their baby shower. The child will be Cartel's first grandson. The dancehall star remains behind bars after he was found guilty of murder back in 2014. He's still making a lot of money. I just want everyone to know he made about $73 million from his album sales, Jamaican dollars. But he's still in jail. Sentenced to life imprisonment. Kwach, making more than you and your zaddy.
Well,
behind bars.
You know what I noticed? What caught my attention was this kid is 16 years old.
Yeah.
Kwani,
Thank you!
Yeah. How low can you go in Jamaica? Because in Kenya, at least it's 18. We wanted kuishukisha mpaka 16. Sorry. That was not passed yet. But this one is 16 and the teacher is allowed to celebrate. So I just don't know. Well, congratulations still because it has happened. What has happened has happened.
Yeah.
Maji imemwagika hatuwezi zoa. Mtoto ashakuja na sahani yake.
Hajakuja na sahani yake. That's what you tell yourself. Sauti so light to you. Ati anakuja na sahani yake. As somebody, mtoto akuja nayo, Tumi atakuja na yake. Labda yake ilipotea mahali kwa mail. Mungu tafadhali Tumi ana sahani yake. Ni mimi natafuta hapa trend hiyo sahani. Anyway, okay, great. Listen. Now I want to hear your thoughts on this story. So now, thou shall not inherit my riches without DNA testing. These are the words of one businessman called Mzee Jackson Kibor. Jackson, like our director. So he was vowed to have DNA tests conducted on his 6 sons. 6, to ascertain if he is their biological father before they can inherit his property. I think it makes sense. Sindio Kwach?
It does.
You have to just absolutely be... and people have played these games a long time at we are a community, our children.
To do DNA tests. There's a point where, what's also, that way of Uhuru where we're like, sometimes, let us be serious, or something in those lines. 68 years old is when now you want, also, I can see my Twitter is going crazy. 68 years old is when you now want to confirm that they're your kids.
Let me
68.
Let
You
me tell
had
you.
all your life.
Let me tell you, Anita.
Just when you're about to die is when you want
because
to
that's
confirm
when
that
it
they're your
counts.
kids.
Let me tell you,
This is when I've come to my senses and I'm like, hold up.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
And
I want
also-
to retire to the Bahamas, but these 6 kids, I don't know. The math doesn't add up.
They just
I
can't
really
let me. I
mind.
need to cut some of you out.
I know.
But you know.
Shortlisting. I have to.
But you know, Anita, everything needs inspiration, including kukasirika. That's why.
68.
Yeah, that's.
Huyo bibi alimkasirisha, angesema tu ukweli.
No,
Angesema kusema ukweli, nimekasirishwa na bibi yangu na mali nimefika sasa hivi maisha. I just want to confirm before I give up everything that I own, which is it was 1225 acres. I just need to confirm that the 1225 acres are going to my actual kids.
Maybe.
But when you were 68, you could do this when you were younger.
Apana,
You could do this
it's
when
'cause you know,
first, the
Anita,
second,
apana.
the third, you
No,
know, there's a story,
like-
there's a book I read.
Yeah.
It's called something about Baba Segi's wives, a Nigerian book, about how this guy had 3 wives, and all the kids he had were never his because he was actually unable to have children.
Yeah.
So the third wife was the one who went and got tested and realized she was fine, but he was not.
Yeah.
So he only found out that all the kids he had all this time were not his kids.
Yeah.
Oh, the secret lives of Baba Segi's wives. That's what the book is called. And he realized that the kids are not his. Obviously, after the third wife was like, "Yo, by the way, I'm not going to be able to have kids because none of these kids you got are yours." So if it took this man 68 years, I would just think I don't know. Just confirm.
Yeah, that is so
I'm
true.
on his side.
But can you imagine though, like the confidence, all these moms, they're like,
Yeah.
I have 6 kids. None of them are his. He doesn't know. I'm going to keep this. I'll take this to my grave. Like, I just,
They
like,
thought
kid
he
1,
would go to his
Siwake.
grave,
Kid
but he has
2,
chosen to
Chinese.
make
Kid
different
4,
decisions.
looking American. Kid
Yeah.
5, you're just like, and I'm just like, mtoto ni wako. Huyu mtoto,
It is
baba
just this
nani?
month that we
Ni wako.
commemorated
Have you-
Stella.
have
Kwa
you
sababu
ever seen those
amechomeka
kids in
sana.
pictures
Jua ya
of kids where
sahi,
you're like,
Turkana.
this is not your child. I
Ni
don't know how
moto
you've not
sana.
seen this is
It's,
not your child.
I
This
don't
is
know what to put
definitely
it.
not your child.
All right, listen. I want to finalize with a story from Uganda. We never have enough time to finish all of our stories. We have a lot of stories every week. Uganda President Yoweri Museveni has elaborately explained to Ugandans how not to waste ugali in response to activists who have been protesting at how vulnerable families were starving owing to lack of food during the COVID-19 period. He demonstrated how 1 kg of maize flour is enough to feed, last a whole household for like a number of days. You know, with these skills that can only be matched with, I think maybe our Luya counterparts. I'm not sure. So there it is. That's him trying to explain it. Take a listen. All right, so I imagine you both watched this video. So,
Yes.
Kwach, real quick, what were your thoughts on this? He has a lot of different things he trains people on. Working
When he was
out,
speaking, I just
swimming.
realized Uganda borders Western.
Oh, that was okay. that was the first thing that came to your mind.
So that's the first thing. So, but it's true. Watoto waache kukula kama watu wazima. We are during COVID times. Watu wakule in small portions. In fact,
Please.
we need the scientists to tell us how much carbohydrates do you need in your body.
Aya,
Tupime.
pana.
Mtu apimiwe bottle tops za ugali.
Wache at you need. It is based on what we have. Do you have relatives? Okay, do you have any relatives who are in boarding school?
Yeah.
Kwach,
Yes,
you have
I do.
3 of them. They're
Yes.
like 18 men. Ni kama there's a whole construction happening right next to your house because the feeding program, my God, madem machali wanakula kama wanaume. You're like, we don't have this kind of food. What are you guys? Ni kama wako na misuli. It's just chill. Are you going to the Olympics?
Food rationing in the
Msiku
house
stress.
is very necessary.
Yeah, just breathe a bit. Fikiria hiyo chakula. Kila saa usikule.
Chakula haiwezi
Ai,
kuwa kazi.
haiwezi kukua job na mlipi. Ni mimi peke yangu nalipa. Mimi alafu napata shingo. Kuku mmekula kila kitu. Mimi napewa shingo na beak. I can't. Anyway, listen. We had a lot more to talk about. Unfortunately, that's the time we had. Anita, thank you so much for finding clothes. Kwach, shout out to your boys club. We're going to talk about that more at 10 p.m.
I was just like, you have to tell someone how much ugali to eat. There's nothing better than ugali and like an entire fish and usuga. So if somebody is going to tell me how to eat my ugali, I'm going to get pissed off.